There is a power in silence that this noisy world has almost forgotten. We live in an age where everyone wants to be heard, everyone wants to shout their opinions, and everyone feels the need to prove themselves. But the truth is, some of the greatest victories in life are not won with words, they are won in silence. Silence is not weakness. Silence is not surrender. Silence is strength under control. It is the quietness that allows wisdom to grow, the calm that gives room for clarity, the stillness that makes way for understanding. In silence, you don't lose yourself, you find yourself. Many of us try to force life, to push our way into every opportunity, to grasp what we are not yet ready for. But when you learn to stay silent, when you trust that what is meant for you will come in its time, you begin to see that everything in life has a rhythm. Just as the tides rise and fall without shouting, just as the seasons change without noise, your life too unfolds in the silence of patience. There is a difference between silence that comes from fear and silence that comes from strength. Fearful silence runs away from responsibility, but strong silence waits, watches, and trusts. When you are silent, you are not inactive, you are preparing. You are allowing wisdom to take root before action. You are letting your spirit align with purpose before you speak or move. Think of the moments in life when your greatest answers have come. They did not come when you were rushing. They did not come when you were drowning in noise. They came in the stillness, in the quiet moment when your heart was open. That is why silence is not empty. It is full of answers. When you stay silent, you allow life to bring you what is yours. You don't have to chase everything. What belongs to you will find you. The doors that are meant to open will swing wide in their time, and no amount of rushing or shouting will make them open sooner. So stop trying to control everything. Stop fighting battles that are not yours to fight. Sometimes the greatest strength is not in speaking, but in holding your tongue. Sometimes the greatest move is not in pushing forward, but in standing still. Stay silent, and everything will come naturally. The peace you're searching for, the opportunities you're waiting for, the breakthrough you need, it is already on its way. Your role is not to force it, but to prepare for it. And preparation happens in the quiet place where your heart is steady and your faith is strong. Do not mistake silence for passivity. Silence is active. It is a discipline. It is the refining fire that strengthens you for the right moment. And when the right moment comes, your words will carry weight. Your actions will carry power because they were birthed in silence. My friend, don't be afraid of the quiet. Don't be afraid to step away from the noise of the world. Stay silent, trust the timing, and watch how life unfolds before you in ways you could never force with your own hands. Because when you stay silent, everything truly comes naturally, powerfully, and right on time. Silence is strength, not weakness. This truth has been overlooked in a world that constantly tells us to speak louder, move faster, and demand more. We are often conditioned to believe that silence means surrender. That quietness is the mark of someone too timid to fight, too weak to stand, or too afraid to take action. But in reality, silence is one of the greatest demonstrations of power. It is the voice of someone who knows who they are, who doesn't need the noise of others to validate their worth, and who understands that true strength is proven not by how loudly you shout, but by how deeply you stand. The strongest people in history, and even in our personal lives, are rarely the ones who are always talking. They are often the ones who know when to listen, when to wait, and when to let their actions speak instead of their words. There is wisdom in restraint. A person who can hold their tongue, Who can remain calm in the storm? Who doesn't react to every insult, every attack, every moment of provocation? That person is not weak. That person is unshakable. The one who screams back at every critic reveals insecurity, but the one who stays silent in confidence reveals strength. Silence is not passive. It is active discipline. It is the ability to say, I don't need to prove myself in this moment because I know who I am. And that kind of silence is not born out of fear. It is born out of courage. Fearful silence hides, but strong silence stands. Fearful silence avoids responsibility, but strong silence takes responsibility and knows that rushing into words or action too quickly can destroy more than it builds. Think about the most difficult moments in life. Anger comes quickly, words fly easily, and arguments escalate. But how many regrets are born from words spoken too soon, or words spoken without thought? How many relationships have been broken, opportunities lost, and hearts wounded because silence was abandoned for the sake of being heard? Words have power, but silence has even greater power because it protects, it refines, and it allows wisdom to enter before words are spoken. There is also a beauty in silence because it creates space for clarity. When everything around you is loud, when everyone is pulling at your attention, when your emotions are boiling, silence is the only thing that clears the fog. It allows you to pause, breathe, and see beyond the surface. It allows you to separate what matters from what doesn't. Without silence, we react. With silence, we respond. And the difference between reaction and response can determine whether you succeed or fail, whether you hurt or heal, whether you move forward or stay stuck. Silence also reveals a depth of maturity. Children often shout to be noticed, but those who are secure in their strength don't need to beg for attention. They let their life, their character, and their consistency speak louder than any words they could say. Silence is the soil in which wisdom grows. It is in silence that great ideas are born, that strategies are formed, that breakthroughs are prepared. The world may think silence is empty, but it is in silence that the soul is filled. Strength is not always about doing more. Sometimes it is about waiting more. It is about refusing to let pressure push you into a mistake. Silence is strength because it is a shield against the distractions of life. It protects your energy from being wasted in meaningless battles. Not every argument is worth your words. Not every fight is worth your effort. Not every situation requires your immediate reaction. Silence teaches you that self-control is greater than control over others. In relationships, silence can be a gift. When someone lashes out, silence diffuses what could have become a fire. When someone misunderstands you, silence shows that your identity is not built on their opinion. When life seems unfair, silence demonstrates trust. That timing will prove you right. In fact, the most powerful response to insult is often silence, because silence says, "You do not define me. I don't need to lower myself to prove myself." That is strength. Silence is not doing nothing. Silence is doing the deeper work. It is listening, observing, and discerning. It is being still enough to see what others miss because they are too busy speaking. It is training yourself to act from clarity instead of impulse. And when the right time comes, your words will carry weight. Your actions will carry impact because they were born from silence. Even in nature, the most powerful forces are silent. The roots of a tree grow in silence, yet they hold up giants. The tides shift with quiet persistence, shaping entire landscapes without a sound. The sun rises without noise, but it lights the whole world. Strength does not always announce itself. Sometimes strength simply is. That is the lesson of silence. When you learn to embrace silence, You stop feeling the need to chase validation. You stop arguing with every voice that questions you. You stop wasting energy on things that don't move you forward. Instead, you conserve your power, and you release it only where it matters most. That is why the strongest people are often the quietest, because they know their worth, and they refuse to waste it. So if you feel pressure to prove yourself, if you feel the urge to defend yourself at every turn, if you feel the weight of needing to always be heard, remember this: truth silences strength, not weakness. It is not a sign that you are powerless, but a sign that you are powerful enough not to be moved by the noise around you. Silence means you trust the process. Silence means you trust yourself. Silence means you trust that what is yours will not pass you by. And when the time comes for you to speak, for you to act, for you to step into the moment prepared for you, your silence will have already laid the foundation for victory. Do not fear silence. Do not despise it. Embrace it. Because silence is not the absence of strength. It is the proof of it. It is not weakness. It is wisdom wrapped in patience. And it will carry you further than shouting ever could. Silence is strength. And when you learn to stand in it, you will discover that everything you were striving for will begin to come to you naturally. That is the paradox of silence. What feels like holding back is actually the very thing that moves you forward. Life unfolds in its own time. That is a truth many of us struggle to accept because we are raised in a world that glorifies speed, hustle, and immediate results. From the moment we are children, we are told to work harder, climb faster, and achieve more quickly than the person beside us. And so, we grow impatient. We look at the road ahead and want every answer, every success, every blessing to fall into our hands immediately. But life does not operate on our schedule. Life moves to a rhythm greater than our demands, a timing wiser than our impatience. And when we begin to trust that timing, we discover peace that striving could never give. Think of nature. A tree does not grow into its full height overnight. A seed does not bloom the day it is planted. The ocean does not rush its tides, and the sun does not hurry to rise before its appointed hour. Creation itself reminds us that there is a season for everything and a time for every purpose. If even the universe follows a divine rhythm, then why do we believe our lives should be different? The truth is, everything unfolds when it is meant to, not when we demand it. Many of us grow weary because we compare our journey with others. We see someone succeeding at an age we thought we should have already arrived. We watch another person's life unfolding beautifully and wonder why ours is still tangled. But what if their timing is not your timing? What if your story has a different chapter to be written before your moment arrives? What if the delay is not a denial, but a preparation? You may not see it now, but in silence, in patience, in trust, the pieces are aligning. Life is not a race to the finish line. It is a journey of becoming. The delays that frustrate you are often the very moments that shape you. The unanswered prayers, the waiting seasons, the closed doors, they are not punishments. They are the places where your character is built. They are the soil where your roots grow deep, so that when the breakthrough comes, you can stand strong without being shaken. What use is it to receive a blessing if you are not ready to carry it? What value is a door opening if you have not developed the strength to walk through it? Timing matters, and life knows when you are ready, even if you do not. There is also a beauty in letting go of control. We exhaust ourselves trying to orchestrate every detail of our future. We plan, we push, we force, and still things do not always go according to our design. That is because some things cannot be forced. The most important moments in life come not from striving, but from surrender. When you stop trying to push doors open that were never meant for you, you free yourself to walk into the doors that were designed for you all along. When you release your need to control the outcome, you begin to live with trust instead of tension. And trust allows life to unfold in ways better than you ever imagined. Think about the times in your life when things did not go your way, but later you realized it was for the best. The opportunity you missed that would have led you down the wrong path. The relationship that ended only to make room for one far healthier. The job you did not get that prepared you for the one that truly fit your purpose. At the time, you were frustrated, even brokenhearted, but in hindsight, you can see it. Life was not withholding something from you. It was preparing something for you. Timing was protecting you. Timing was guiding you. Timing was leading you into the place where you truly belong. The problem is, we live in the now, while life is working on the later. And in the gap between now and later, we grow restless. But if we learn to quiet our hearts, if we stay patient in the silence, we begin to understand that not everything requires our rushing. Some things are being woven behind the scenes, and if we could see the full picture, we would not be in such a hurry. Silence teaches us to wait with trust, not with fear. Silence reminds us that what is meant for us will not pass us by. And while we wait, we are not wasting time. Waiting is not inactivity. Waiting is growth, preparation, and shaping. A seed hidden underground does not look like it is doing much, but within it, roots are forming. A child in the womb cannot yet be seen, but within the silence of time, it is being knit together in perfection. Just because you cannot see progress does not mean progress is not happening. Just because you cannot measure the growth does not mean growth is not taking place. Life is always at work, even in the unseen. That is why we must not despise small beginnings or slow progress. The small steps matter. The unseen days matter. Every quiet moment is building something within you. And when the time comes, when life unfolds the moment that has been prepared, you will look back and realize that not one day was wasted. Not one delay was meaningless. Every waiting season was necessary. So if you find yourself in a season where nothing seems to be moving, where silence feels heavy, where answers seem far away, take heart. Life has not forgotten you. Your story is still unfolding. The delay is not forever. The waiting is not in vain. What is meant for you is on its way, and it will not come a moment too early or a moment too late. It will come right on time. Do not compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Do not rush what is still being written. Your journey is your own, and the timing of your story is sacred. Hold on to patience. Hold on to silence. Hold on to trust. For just as the dawn always follows the night, just as the seed always breaks through the soil, your time too will come. Life unfolds in its own time, and that time will always be perfect. What you need to do is stay steady, stay faithful, and stay silent long enough to see the beauty of it all come together. Because when it does, you will not have to force it. You will not have to beg for it. And you will not have to chase it. It will come to you naturally, powerfully, and right on time. There is a hidden power in silence that many overlook. In a world full of noise, distractions, and endless voices competing for attention, silence often feels uncomfortable, even unnatural. But silence is not an empty space. It is a place of preparation. It is the forge where strength is built, where character is refined, and where purpose is made clear. Silence is not the absence of action. It is the preparation for the right action at the right time. Think about the seed buried deep in the soil. For weeks, sometimes months, it remains hidden in darkness and silence. No one applauds it. No one notices it. No one praises its growth. Yet in that silent place, roots are forming, strength is being built, and life is preparing to break through the surface. If the seed could speak, it might cry out in frustration, asking why nothing is happening. But the truth is, everything is happening in silence. And when the moment comes, the seed bursts forth into the light, strong enough to withstand storms, because it spent time in the quiet ground of preparation. That is what silence does for us. It strengthens us in ways we cannot always see. It grounds us, roots us, and makes us ready for the seasons of impact that are coming. Too often, we rush to speak, rush to act, rush to prove ourselves before the time is right. But silence teaches us patience. It reminds us that not every battle must be fought immediately, not every opportunity must be seized instantly, and not every thought must be spoken aloud. Silence gives wisdom time to settle into the soul. Have you ever noticed that the loudest people in the room are often not the strongest? Noise is not power. True strength is quiet. True confidence does not have to shout. It stands firm even when silent because it knows its time will come. When you learn to embrace silence, you learn to live from a place of inner strength rather than outer noise. You learn that you don't have to broadcast your every move. You simply prepare in silence. And when the moment of action arrives, the impact speaks louder than words ever could. Think about great athletes, leaders, and visionaries. The world often sees their victories on the big stage, but what the world does not see is the silence of preparation. They train when no one is watching. They practice in the quiet hours when no one applauds. They study in solitude while others are distracted. Their greatness is not born in the spotlight, but in the silent grind of preparation. When the spotlight finally shines on them, their impact is undeniable because it was forged in silence. The same is true for your life. Perhaps right now you are in a season of silence. You feel unnoticed, unseen, overlooked. You wonder if your dreams will ever come alive, if your prayers will ever be answered, if your purpose will ever unfold. You look around and see others stepping into opportunities while you remain in the shadows of silence. But do not despise this season. It is not wasted time, it is preparation. What feels like delay is often development. What feels like silence is actually the ground of transformation. Silence also teaches discernment. In the noise of life, it is hard to hear what really matters. When you step into silence, you begin to hear more clearly. You hear the whispers of wisdom. You notice the guidance you might have overlooked in the chaos. You gain clarity about what to pursue and what to release. Silence cuts through the clutter and reveals what truly matters. And when you move from that place of clarity, your actions carry a weight that noise can never give. But silence is not always easy. We crave recognition. We want instant results. We want to prove ourselves now. Yet the greatest impact rarely comes instantly. It comes from the discipline of waiting, of holding back until the right time. Just as an arrow is pulled backward in silence before it launches forward with force, your silent seasons are pulling you back so that your impact can be greater when released. Do not mistake the silence for inactivity. The silence is working for you. It is shaping your character, refining your faith, and strengthening your resolve. It is teaching you to depend not on the applause of others, but on the strength within. And when the time comes to step forward, you will not step forward timidly. You will step forward with power because you are prepared. There is also wisdom in learning when silence itself is the answer. Not every insult deserves a response. Not every argument needs your voice. Sometimes silence is the most powerful answer you can give. It reveals maturity, discipline, and self-control. It proves that you are not controlled by the noise of others, but by the strength of your own spirit. And in that kind of silence, you find peace, you find freedom, you find the ability to move forward without being entangled in unnecessary battles. So if you are in a silent season, embrace it. Do not run from it. Do not despise it. Instead, use it. Use it to grow deeper, to listen more intently, to prepare more fully. Let silence teach you patience. Let silence strengthen your heart. Let silence shape your character. Because when the moment comes, and it will come, you will not have to force it. You will not have to fight to prove yourself. The preparation of silence will make your impact natural, undeniable, and lasting. Remember, silence is not the end of the story. It is the beginning. Just as the seed eventually breaks the ground, just as the arrow eventually flies, just as the tide eventually shifts, your silent season will give way to impact. And when it does, all the waiting, all the discipline, and all the stillness will prove to have been worth it. So, stay faithful in the silence. Stay steady in the waiting. Keep preparing when no one is watching. Because silence is not holding you back. It is pushing you forward. Silence is not robbing you of impact. It is preparing you for impact. And when your moment arrives, the world will see the strength that was built in the quiet.